The series Game of Thrones might have ended, but it sure left us with many memories that we will forever reminisce. At the same time, there are some questions that have remained unanswered for a long time. How would the White Walker have passed the wall without the dragon? The wall in the series Game of Thrones was built by Bran the Builder Stark, the founder of House Stark, with the help of the giants and the children of the forests, and it's said that the wall was infused with powerful magical spells. The White Walkers are magical creatures, and the magic hence prevents them from breaching the wall. The magical powers of the wall allows humans to go past the wall, but will not allow the White Walkers to cross it. The wildlings were able to cross the wall because they were humans. The last time the White Walkers attacked was 8,000 years ago. They are dreaded because of their powers. The White Walkers can command a large undead army. They can be killed using dragonglass or obsidian and Valyrian steel, scattered around Westeros, and a meager resource used more as a family heirloom than in battle. Only the head of each house might wield one. These are some reasons why the White Walkers are a big deal. Now, when we talk about the white creatures, there are three of them. There are the Whites, Night King, and the White Walkers. The Night King created the Whites. These are dead men who rose again. The Night King was created by piercing a living man's heart with dragonglass, which isn't made of dragon fire, but is solidified lava obsidian. The Night King was created to control the Whites beyond the wall. This was a time when the first men and the children were fighting the White Walkers together. The White Walkers are living creatures converted to their present form by the Night King, but in the first place, the children created these when they captured the Ansels. These are not skeletons like the Whites are, but proper humans, live humans, whom the Night King and the children converted at some point, probably at birth by the Night King and adulthood by the children. Remember what Craster used to do with his baby boys. He gave them to a White Walker, who gave them to the Night King, who then converted them to White Walkers. Notice how only the Night King and the White Walkers rode the dead horses. And go back to the episode with the Whites' army attacks the cave of the Three-Eyed Raven. The children of the forest had created fire around the entrance to keep away the Whites, and they couldn't cross the fiery boundary. But the Night King and the White Walkers crossed it like it wasn't a big deal for them. So that proves the fact that the White Walkers can't be killed by fire. It would surely kill the Whites though. Some have argued the dragon fire is magical, and it could kill the White Walkers. But the truth is, there is nothing magical about dragon fire. Valyrian steel isn't made of dragon fire, because Valyrian steel had a secret ingredient, probably obsidian, which is absent from any other steel, and it had magic spells in its making. These two don't get destroyed during the reforging process, and maybe obsidian is why Valyrian steel is special and can kill the walkers. Now, even if we consider the dragon fire is necessary for making Valyrian steel, remember that bronze is resonant, but it is well known that copper and tin's constituents aren't sonorous. So if Valyrian steel kills White Walkers, it doesn't mean its constituent. Dragonfire will too. Back to the main question, how would the White Walkers pass the wall without the dragon? Night King was able to break the wall not because he has Viserion, it's because of Bran Stark. The spell of the wall didn't let the Night King pass, not its physical presence. If you remember, Night King has marked Bran, and the Blood Raven told Bran that he would come for you. Bran said he can't get in, and Blood Raven replied, he can now. His mark is on you. Then the Night King enters the cave and kills the Blood Raven. Bran passed the wall and, just like the cave, the wall's magical spells became obsolete, and the Night King was able to destroy it. Bran entered Winterfell too, and its spells were not useful either. The wall was built with magic that explicitly prevented the White Walker with Whites from crossing it. This is possibly the same magic used for the cave of the Three-Eyed Raven. However, after the Night King branded Bran, he breached this protection and was able to enter the cave. If the same logic is applied to the wall, he could have entered it just fine, and given that the more he fights, the more beneficial it is for him anyway. He could have easily had his army to try to enter, kill the brothers, and then expand his army and march south. However, this process would have taken a long time, as the tunnels through the wall are quite narrow. and he would be facing resistance the whole time, so that it would be time consuming. A more practical thing to have done would be to have breached the wall stealthily at any other castles that are not occupied. But that won't lead to any drama. Also, at this point, the army doesn't care for stealth. They have massive numbers and are practically invincible. Besides, breaking down the wall quickens the pace of attack, is dramatic, and makes for a great story. But most of all, it is symbolic. The structure has kept this evil magic at bay for 8,000 years. It is the only protection against the force of the dead and has been the most reliable defense ever constructed in history. Men guard it and have defenses built. It also has its natural defense, sheets breaking off when people try to climb it. It is also tall, and it dominates the landscape and is visible from Old Town's tallest tower. It's existed forever and is immutable, or was. Breaking down even a small portion of the wall shows power and strength more than anything else. On the other hand, there is also the argument that the Night King needed the dragon to go through the wall. The white napping escapade, at least the part of it where the men were concerned, and the dragon was killed and later recovered, was a deliberate move. The Night King might have needed a dragon to get past the wall. He must have known this and foresaw how that incident would play out. He knew he could bag a dragon and would need one to break the wall and set up the encounter accordingly. In their attempt to better fight the Night King, Jon handed him what he needed to break down the wall. It also explains what the others have been waiting for. They have gathered strength on the periphery from the beginning. They have had their massive weight army since the Hardhome attack. Does anyone think they wouldn't have crossed earlier if they could have? They were waiting for Viserion. Threats are a matter of perception. Whether the Night King objectively had to have a dragon to break through the wall and could not have come through any other way, either definitively or promptly, is besides the point. No one in the story thinks, well, as long as he doesn't get a dragon, we're safe. It would have not occurred to anyone in the story that a dragon was the Night King's missing puzzle. For all any of them knew, there were other ways to breach the wall that the Night King might have tried, so they reasonably would have perceived him as a threat even before he shot down Viserion. Dragons aside, it is interesting that people on the front lines implicitly accept that the wall alone isn't enough to protect Westeros from the others. This is either a matter of overcompensation or, more intriguingly, an instinct or even institutional memory. The gut-level feeling of the others can or will eventually break through. Meanwhile, the White Walkers didn't appear to have a plan B. The Night King seemed to have at least some limited ability to predict or foresee the future. They were quite unreasonably prepared for dragons when they took down Viserion, and amazingly prepared for hauling dragons out of the lake. Those giant chains weren't just lying around in the area. It would seem that he foresaw the arrival of the dragons and had planned for the events for quite some time. Given the level of preparation involved, it seems unlikely that other plans were being made. As for why his abilities to foresee events failed to account for what happened in Winterfell, that's another answer. The wall is not built to keep wildlings away, as it had been a common fact in Westeros before all of these Night King related things happened. So why was it built? Night King seems powerful enough to gather an army of the dead and employ them to storm the giant gates and then breaking them open for them to pass through it. He didn't even need a dragon to first tear down the wall. However, that did not make it easy for his army to pass the wall. But there's a catch. The wall wasn't just a physical barrier, but also a magical spell was cast on the wall to keep the Night King north of the wall. The army of the dead, however, was allowed through the wall, but not the Night King or his White Walkers team. We know that because we have seen some undead coming south of the wall, like in the first season when the magic spell was still active on the wall. Then, the cave in which no physical barrier also protected the three-eyed raven, but only magic, so he could never go past it. However, when the Night King left a mark on Bran, the magical spell broke, and he could go past the boundaries of the weirwood tree where the three-eyed raven resides. So, coming back to the question, even if he had no dragons, it would have been possible for him to pass through the wall, given that Bran had his mark. Are you a fan of the series Game of Thrones? Which of these arguments do you agree with? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you love watching this video, kindly leave us a like and also hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.